All those in attendance, Mike,
Yes.
Nick, Sue,
Yes.
we have a partial board but a quorum.
Okay. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, since Nick isn't here, I'm going to move down.
I did take a shower.
I'm going to scooch down here.
So do you want to say something?
Yes, I do. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, you said. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for the many blessings that you've given our residents in Brimfield, that you keep your hand of protection upon us. And we know, Lord, that you love us. We know that you're there for us, and all we have to do, Lord, is say, please help me. I pray that you would be with our township, that we will have good wisdom and knowledge and make good decisions that will be for the benefit of all. We ask this in thy name, amen.
Amen. Let's see. Okay, Sue, any announcements or correspondence?
No, not this time.
Okay, meeting guests, so that would be Todd.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was here for the next report. Okay,
Is that good?
yeah, okay, so hold on.
Well, thanks for coming.
Well, thank you. So I will pass this. Just pass this down. And so there's this, and pass it down to the. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I made just enough copies. All right,
Sue, you got one? Anyone need one? Oh, right here's one.
Speaker.
So, okay, so, again, I'm Todd Pitts with Portage County Regional Planning. We've been working on a couple different projects, actually. One with Cassie, but I'm not here to talk about that project. And then we've been working with the city of Ravenna and Ravenna Township about historic structures. We got a grant to do this historic structures project for Ravenna Township. And I showed it to your zoning commission, and they really felt it was a great tool for Brimfield Township as well. So I will go through this sort of quickly. These again are story maps. So Ravenna Township and Brimfield have 200 historic structures in them. They have. So what we did is we recorded on here all the homes and structures that are on the National Register of Historic Places, and all of them that are on the Ohio Historic Inventory. So that's how we came up with our list of 200. It's not to say these are the only ones. So the first map I'll show you. It can take a second to load. Okay, so this first map is where all of the structures are in the township and the city. And I can touch on any of these. You can click on it. It'll tell me a little bit about it. Who's the owner name and stuff like that. I can go to any one. Just click on that.
The sound is.
And it'll tell me a little bit about that. But that's not the one that's really exciting. If I go up to this little button here, I can move to the next slide. So in Ravenna Township, and the city, they're close enough that they can have walking tours. So we created these walking tours for them. Let's slide down here. Come on. Yeah. There it goes. Okay. So there's the area, and if it works the way it would. Oh, I don't have a mouse. Okay, so I can slide down. It'll tell me who this person is, shows where they're located, and we have a picture of the house, and it gives a history of that house. And it goes to a tour space, again, the history of the house, all that kind of stuff. So it's just really, it's easy to scroll through. You can type in an address, and it'll get it straight to there if you think you have a house on the historic register. So there's ways to do that. So I don't necessarily know I need to go through every one of these, so I'll go to the next one and show you. So we have multiple walking tours here. So we have this East Main one. This is a good one because this one shows the road lots. So that's the East Main downtown area, and there's Henry Riddle, who really helped develop the town center area of the city of Ravenna, and talks about when each Riddle block was. And then after you get through that, you go through into our area and some information about each of those buildings. And on. So we've got a few more of those walking tours. We have West Main, Myrtle and Riddle walking tour. We have Walnut Street historic tour. But one of the things and the Freedom Street. The other thing we did was, just go back one. One of the things we did, we had interns from Kent State University help us with this project, and they're architect students with historic preservation as a minor. So we broke it down. We broke it. Don't you do that? What'd you just do? Let's go back to this again. Oh, there it is. What are you doing?
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah, no, there it goes. Well, I'm not used to this laptop stuff, right? All right, so this is the different types of architecture. So it actually, so for the public, they actually, like, what is Greek revival? So we actually show you the different elements of Greek revival, what the common attributes are of Greek revival. If you keep going, it shows you where you can find examples of Greek revival in the city. So, and then I can click on any of those and I'll take you straight there. Or we can just go through here and look at some examples of Greek revival with information about each one of those homes. Some of the homes aren't always in the best of shape. These are from the 1830s. I don't even know if that's like this one here. So Greek revival is one of the older kind of homes. So I'm sure you guys have Greek revival here, for example. Then we have other architectural types. We have the Italianate architecture. And again, same thing. What is Italianate? What are the common attributes? So we can help the public. Then we have examples of where those are located. So if you have this kind of local historic home, you can go and see what other people are doing with their historic homes. So it gives you some examples of what other people might be doing. And then again, we have write-ups and examples of each one of those types of homes in the city. Then I'll go to the next one. So again, what is Queen Anne? What are the common attributes? So there's the diagram of that. And then we have the different locations. We have different houses. But there's a house in here. It's the DePaula house, or actually, the DePaula's living in it now. And I want to get to it. It's down. It's called the Byers Castle. So on the Byers Castle, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one. It's on South Prospect Street, behind the railroad tracks, so to speak. And what they did is they have a website for this house, right? So we can embed things into this. So this one takes us straight to their website. So why is this significant? Is because we can do a couple things. We can do oral histories, like if somebody wants to talk about their parents' home or grandparents' home or great-great-grandparents' home, we can do oral histories and embed that into the document. It's really easy to do. The other thing we can do too, if you're interested, is we can, how you have realtor, we see the outside of the homes, but if you're, again, optional, of course, the property owner, but if a property owner is willing to share what it looks like inside, like you see like in the realtor's thing, we can do that too. We can add what it looks like on the inside if they're willing to, okay with doing that. So there's that one, and then we have the other significant styles. So there's a bunch of different. There's a lot more architecture than those 4 or 5 that I showed you. There's a variety here. I don't think we go into detail on each one's the attributes to each one of these kind of different styles, but there's a number of different styles, like Second Empire, an example of the Second Empire, another example of the Second Empire. But then we have, if I keep scrolling down, we go to another Second Empire. But then we have the Victorian Gothic, and there's an example of that, the Crow House, church, and then if you keep going down, we'll get to another, the shingle style, and then we have all those, Dutch colonial revival. So we have a variety. So as part of this project though, it's a living document. We can go in there and add, at any time, we could add new pictures, we could add new write-ups. If there's something we put in there that wasn't accurate, we could always add stuff. What we want to do, what we do with Ravenna, is we send out postcards to all the owners of these houses and invited them to look at this and attend a meeting with us. They'll give us feedback on what we said about their buildings, and if they had any comments or suggestions. So we did do that, and we did get comments and suggestions, which is great. So we're willing to work with the residents here too. The other thing to make this project go or work the best is for us to get additional Kent State University students, because we're going with an hourly rate of up to $20,000. I don't think it's going to be that much, honestly, but we were able to keep the costs down when we done it because we used interns. The other part of it too is we use a lot of information from the Portage County Historical Society, and we want to use the information from the Brimfield Historical Society, as well as the Portage County Historical Society, to gather that information that goes with the write-ups. So we want to make sure that we get all that. And we'd be more than happy to sit in a steering committee with the Brimfield Historical Commission.
Is it hard to get interns?
I'm going to say no, but I wouldn't be able to get interns until January. That's the only problem with that. But I can do a lot of the lead stuff between now and January. Getting interns. We got 2 interns last summer, and we got like 4 more interns who wanted to be interns. So we just need 6 interns, one needed 2. So that's what we're doing.
That's really amazing.
No, it's really nice, yes.
Well, Christian McMillan's been doing, from the Historical Society's been doing all kinds of reviews and stuff, so she'd be a huge person to work with.
The more information we gather, the less time I spend on it, and the more money it saves you guys. I mean, that's just the bottom line, you know.
This is one step towards preserving the past. No, I know, but Chrissy's been all over.
So
track
right.
lines and all this stuff.
Speaking of preserving the past, one of the things that Ravenna City wants to do is they have a lot of buildings they put out, you know, and they call those buildings because they're no longer there. And so one of the things they want us to do in the future phase is to take the old ghost buildings, so to speak, and create a catalog of those buildings that were awesome at one time, and put that in there so people can at least enjoy what they want. Which I think is awesome. Kind of.
One question I asked Mike the other day was, you go downtown Kent, it says historical district. I mean, if we would just create a small historical district for now, just so as people drive into town, they'd see a sign that says historical district. Because I mean, town center, there are a lot of historical things, from the carriage barn on the cemetery, the Kelso House. I mean, would that affect anything you're doing here? Because I mean, the broad picture, there's so much historical in Brimfield. I'm just trying to designate little areas when people drive in, they say,
Yeah, so again, the greatest thing about this is it's really flexible. It's truly a living document. Like, in your comp plan is also a living document. Yay. Because it's done in that format. But before those kind of things were done, they were done in a hard copy paper version. Here you go, and they'll update it in 10 or 15 years from now. There's no updates between now and the next 10 or 15 years. We can update this. I think, we don't want to update it monthly because it takes a lot of our time. But if we did it like on every 6 months or a yearly basis, we could do these updates quickly. It's going to be more efficient to do it that way. So you can do any changes you want us to do.
And like with these oral histories,
Yes.
is that something we do from our end?
Again, it saves us money. Saves you money. Saves us money. If you guys did it on your end and just gave us the oral histories, we can implant them into the document.
I know there's getting to be fewer and fewer people that know the oral history. We've seen Joanne, I know Chick knows so much in this township.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just love to have him involved, because it's just new people like myself that have moved into town, we don't know the history. If it wasn't for Chick, I don't really know any of it.
We could even have, Chick, if you want a Chick or somebody like Chick to do an overview of the township, maybe even you can do an overview.
See, my thoughts were is if we create that small historical designated area to just sit down with Chick and get the whole story, what he remembers.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Or any of you guys remember. You know what I mean?
Well, when you put this together, how soon before you actually start putting pages? So
I mean, and you add on to it as you go.
Well, okay, so I think I had a timeline.
I mean, as we start.
Yeah, okay, so I do have a timeline. So the kickoff meeting would be whenever you guys give approval. So after the kickoff would be October, November. Data gathering from November to February. Elements of the project be online or be available as early as February. So
That's cool. So if we do create a small, we could at least start getting that pumped on there. Because you said that could be like a little tour.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, like, we call it a walking tour, we can call yours a driving tour.
Right.
Not to do it that way.
I mean, you've looked at all the Brimfield stuff, so you think we got enough?
Well, you have 40 in the comp plan, 40 historic districts in comp plan. So that's not to say that you can't add more in the future, you know? So I'm gonna take still the same topic, but I'm gonna take a side step here, is that we're working with Gail Pavliga on a proposed bill. And that proposed bill is, you know, historic structures are value added to your community. They add value. So why, you know, typically when you talk about historic districts, for example, we have a historic district, there must be some sort of ways to restrict what people do in their historic district, right? I mean, that's the first thing that people want to say. But what I'm saying is there are adding value, so why punish these people? You should be rewarding these people for adding value. So me and Gail were talking about the idea of doing like a tax credit, but there's not many, there's only 40, so there's a tax credit on these 40 houses, you know, that's 40 houses, but 25% from the National Register, very few houses are on the National Register to begin with, and a 10% for those who are on the Ohio Historic Inventory. And it's a way to encourage them to maintain the property. And it's also an idea to get people who may have a historic structure who are afraid about being called historic because they don't want anything to, you know, potentially hurt their use of their property, to encourage them to want to be either a National Register property or to be on the Ohio Historic Inventory. So it's an idea, a way to get people excited about history and preserve their history rather than, you know, there's no incentive for me to keep this place. I'm just going to let it go and tear it down, you know, just happens in many cases.
How's that bill going?
Well, she's got it, it's created, and we're supposed to have what does she call it? The interested parties are supposed to meet in mid-November to talk about it. So I'm like thinking to myself, well, if you win the election, that's good. No, I don't know what the hell's going after that. But
I mean, are there any tools townships could use to encourage people?
not right now. The only encouragement that the state currently grants to historic properties is they'll let you, you know, take, like, let's say you spend $100,000 fixing up something. You can actually take it, you know, get a tax credit on that $100,000 over 10 years. You know, so that's helpful. You know, that helps you build, but many people don't know what that is. It sounds complicated for most people. Why am I doing this? You know, I just need to fix my house. You know, so we'd love to give them something that actually encourages them to want to be a historic structure, you know, and maintain infrastructure. That's what that builds on. So stepping back into this thing, yeah, this is an exciting thing. We'd love to work with you guys and anybody from the township or the historical society. I think this is a great community project. You know, the other thing, and this is me being planning, the other great thing about this is that it helps the young folks appreciate their community more because they know it. And then it helps people live here, appreciate the community more. And then it's also a little bit of tourism. You know, people come here and go, oh, I didn't know this about, you know, Brimfield. So.
And I know the three of us here, we're all interested in preserving Brimfield's history. And, you know,
We are all past board members of the Kelso House.
Okay.
We've all, three of us have all been on that.
And I don't, you know, usually trustees, you know, stay out of this kind of stuff, but if you guys have a passion for it, I'm more than happy to have you guys on there. I mean, I know that might be a cemetery violation, so I don't know if you can actually do that, but I encourage you guys to participate as best as possible.
yeah, just as long as we don't make a board decision.
Right.
And then you go to meetings, we're allowed to go for discovery and have opinions and stuff like that.
I think your role in this one would just be for guidance. It wouldn't be for approving budgets or anything like that. Yeah, how you like it, you want to see something different.
Yeah.
You know, I think a good way to get the word out is to have somebody write an article for the Ohio Township magazine. You know, they always want articles on there.
The master of words.
Master of words, okay. But anyway, that would be, because that magazine goes to all the township trustees and the fiscal officers in all 88 counties. If you get an article.
I love it. We don't even think about, I just think about Portage County, right? And I really don't think about, that's one of our weaknesses in Portage County, we don't promote ourselves.
No, we don't.
That would be a great,
That'd be a good way to do that.
Yeah, I love the idea. Does anybody have questions?
How much will it cost us? Now, an intern, does the intern cost us anything?
You said about $20 an hour or so.
Yeah, it's about $20 an hour.
Okay.
So the interns would be out of that $20,000, and we'd be paying from that.
Okay.
But the intern price is a third of what Gail's time is, it's a fifth of my time, so
Right.
it costs. So the more interns we use, the more we save you guys. But they do a great job, they do mostly the architectural style stuff, they do a lot of descriptions of the properties. And then Gail in our office, she's the one that takes all that information and makes it work, it's a happy process to it. So we do have a hand in there and stuff like that.
So how are we billed? Are we billed when it's done, or
Well, we probably, you tell me how you want to be billed, because
John would have to tell us how we want to be billed?
we usually bill as we go, so if we.
You send that to something.
So that's, I'm sure Lori would do it, Michael.
I think so it costs not to exceed 10,000?
No, I said 20.
I'm just looking at this one.
Oh, you're looking at the different one.
What was that?
That one's the comp plan that we're gonna talk about.
Oh, okay.
I guess we're doing
You can talk about now too is.
And like I said, I would like to stay way below that number. I just want to have a cushion there in case we are doing more stuff.
I think all this, I think we had a budget for zoning, I think this would all fit with it, but I still wanted the board to approve.
Well, I was just talking to John, and I'm thinking it's, why not use an M&I? I mean, we're
Yeah, you could.
maintaining and improving the jet. I mean, I'm just looking, I'm gonna make a motion soon that we approve the $20,000 for the historic structure story map, the top piece in Portage County.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, well, Joanne asked Chip when I can take him for a ride.
Okay.
All right, we'll kick that off here probably towards the end of the month then.
Okay, and I definitely want to talk to you because, like, even at the new fire station, that old building that was, I think Chip said a garage or something. And then it doesn't, like the carriage house in the cemetery, that's still a historic structure, even though it's not being lived in, right?
Right, absolutely. Well, a lot of commercial buildings, for example, they're not always living in, they're commercial store structures. Yeah, why don't we get together maybe before the big company, just to make sure that we're
Yeah, let me
on the
know.
same page and we're covering things you need us to cover.
So do you care if I go in on these meetings?
No, you go ahead.
So you have my cell phone?
Oh, like what
Okay, yeah, and then I'd love to be part of this, because I'm just, this historic, I mean, Brimfield is so unique.
Yeah.
With some of these buildings, and I hate to keep going back to Chick, but man, he has so many stories.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you guys are also losing a lot of your buildings because they're old farmhouses and things like that.
There's lost one this week.
Yeah.
The house right next to the restaurant over there.
Yeah. But then, I mean, even, like, monuments, that Civil War cannon that's in our cemetery. I mean, stuff like that, I mean, can that all be put on there, like that historic town hall bell that's now up there?
We can put historic places on your, or things on your structure thing, yeah, for sure. So the next thing I got is that other should be sought for $10,000. Okay, so this is, just say, when we did your comprehensive plan at the beginning of 2020 and 2021, that was all done with 2010 census or 2015 census data. So the idea was that now that the 2020 census data is available to update everything. So there's a lot of sections that need to be updated that relied on that data. But then also we need to update some land use maps. The zoning maps have changed. The future land use map has changed. We have some like transportation improvement maps in there. Those should be updated to current. So some of those things. Then we also, as a group, the trustees in the department has sat down and created some goals and objectives, and that's been 2 years now, so we're going on 3 years, and we had 1, 3, and 5-year goals, I believe. So it might be a good time to update those goals. And then also the online version of the comp plan we want to update that. One of the updates we want to include in the online version is, right now, it just basically gives you basic information about the zoning. What we'd like to do is put all the zoning information on that online version, so that when somebody goes to click on the property, you can just click on your property, boom, it'll tell you what your zoning is, and it'll tell you all the things you can do, all your conditional uses, what your setbacks, lot area is, et cetera, et cetera. So it'll be a lot easier for the public to use. So there's that portion of it, and then there's the meeting portion of it. So again, we have a kickoff meeting with the planning commission, department head meeting with trustees. I have 2 weeks for that, where we sit down and evaluate where we are, where we want to go, kind of thing. And then update the plan, working with the planning commission, 2 to 4 meetings, as applicable. Community meetings, 1 if necessary, we'd probably be good to do 1 meeting with the public, and then 2 trustees meetings to review and approve. And again, it's hourly, up to $10,000. We may not get to the $10,000. It's not going to move it over because it's on me.
One thing we wanted to highlight in this too, and the zoning commission was very adamant about this, was that we do have more agriculture now than we did 20 years ago. And we want to highlight that in our plan, so.
Yeah. And we have the OR district in the zoning, and that's something that looks like the planning commission would like to take that out.
So just so I understand, the second one's coming out of our hours that you have, up to $10,000 for on our behalf.
Well, it can come here. I don't know when Mike wants to get started on. We can
Recycles in
We
January.
can wait. So we have 65 hours in January, right? So we can take the first 65 hours if you want us to hold off until January to start this project. That's fine. Then we take those 65 hours out, and then the hour after that. But again, I'm hoping not to get the $10,000.
The only thing, and we could always come back, the only thing with the amount of changes we're making to the map right now, I think we're gonna eat up his hours next year.
Do we still have some left over for this year?
Okay, so if you had 10 left of this year, part of your hours got eaten up. They've been really busy with planning and getting us stuff to do, but then part of your hours got eaten up with the fire department, we made some maps for them, and then part of your hours got eaten up with Cassie, we've been doing some projects with Cassie.
Sure. Okay.
So,
Well, I'd probably rather use all those up, then even if he needs you after that, we pay you by the hour at 23, right? Is that how that
5
works?
hours for 23, yeah.
So why don't, if you're all right with that, why don't? we
Yeah, and
use all the hours
I
for
could
that?
just put the money in my budget for next year if he goes over the hours. It's fine.
That'd be easier, just so we don't
Yeah, that's fine.
leave some hours sitting out there not used and we're paying cash.
I don't think it's a rush to start that right for the second anyway, so it's.
You guys want a motion? No, he just has hours, so he's running the project for that. I mean, what is that? You guys think that's okay? I mean, should we be all right with that?
No, okay.
Because if we don't use it, we lose it.
Right.
Yeah.
So the answer to this whole thing is yes, go in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Using your TA hours first and then your.
He's just using his hours. Okay. Any hours that I could request, we wouldn't need a motion for anything. Go ahead,
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I think that's all I have for you.
Well, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Joanne, how old was your old house?
I think it was built in the early 1900s. I think 1937. Because I know.
It's 100 years old though, isn't it now?
Pardon?
It's probably 100 years old.
Maybe I think it's 137, so that was,
85.
yeah.
Well, the one house that was sort of behind where the old Kragers used to be, Chick said it was moved. Was that their house or was that moved from town center?
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't theirs.
But it was by where the old park, town green was in that area?
I thought so.
They told me so many stories, I should have been writing them down.
You know that.
So I'll send it to you to take a look at. What is the recording this time?
I will.
Yeah.
I think what I'm gonna do is do a map and I'll just put the house on it and I'll just take a picture of it for a ride.
Well, then we need to say what was here before this was here, and this is here, so, because there's, like the pet store, there's a Texaco station before it was the bank. right?
What store?
Next to the council house, where the pet store is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the vet clinic. Yeah, that was a Texaco gas station, and then it was the Trans Ohio Bank for a long time.
And I talked to the new guy that owns Rico's and he's really interested in the historical stuff. Because that used to be,
Art's place.
but it was a general store at one time.
Yeah,
Do that?
A lot of stuff.
yeah, it's changing, yeah, a lot.
You see, they had the original siding.
Yeah, it's the wood
I
plants.
took pictures of it, so. Okay,
It's looking nice.
well, thanks, Tom.
Nice to have it.
Thanks, guys.
I'll be waiting for your call,
Okay.
but I'm gonna try to see what I can get, start putting information together.
I'll probably call you this afternoon or, yeah, this afternoon. That's okay.
I got my brush hog working, so I might be out back.
What's a good time to call you?
If I see a call, I can just return it. Okay,
Well, you won't know my number though, right? This is not. You know what I'm saying?
it's all good.
Okay.
I'll try.
I was texting you too, right?
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guy.
Okay, well, that was interesting. Minutes.
They're from 9/21.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes,
Motion passed.
Okay, has everyone got a chance to look at the agenda?
yes.
We need
Does
to,
anyone want to add something?
Yes, we need to add an executive session Craig wants to put out there for the USDA loan under,
John, just real quick, do you want to do it on that, or do you want to have a discussion on?
are we just
It's
discussing?
regarding the financials that I received at 7:30 this morning from USDA, the questions of where we're at.
Since we're dealing with contracts, I'd like to go in executive.
We should too, because some of those we're fighting, right, or possibly fighting.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
how you want to do it?
Let's just talk about that
I
prior,
just
so
got
we
it
don't
this
have it
morning.
on the. So they're
So maybe, yes.
Yeah. So we'll have number 3 under executive session. It'll be fire USDA contract.
And John, did you want to add the pavilion electric to administration?
Yeah, we did. We just want to add that
So that'll be 2B.
to A.
Oh, yeah, 2A. What's it? Electric pavilion?
Electric event pavilions at Lions Park. Boats.
Okay. Anything else? No, we're all good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept the amended agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Nick, or Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion that we approve the purchase orders.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
I will also make a motion that we approve the warrants.
Second.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Joanne, you got any public comments? Okay. Okay, now we get into the other. Are there any safety concerns we need to address? Okay. Yeah, that's weird. We're getting sun in here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can really see.
It's all the
good
trees.
there.
Wow. Lord knows I can't see anymore, so. Okay, let's get to the police business. Okay, Roy?
Thanks, Mike. I just have a couple of items for you guys this morning under old business. Just an update on the hiring of an officer. The previous candidate that we were in process with the background did not have a successful polygraph examination, so he's no longer under consideration going forward for us. So we are currently looking at some other candidates on background. So it's an ongoing process. I'll keep you updated, but we were not able to move forward with the previous candidate that we discussed.
You have any to look at?
I got a few. Yeah, there's a few we're looking at. So I'll keep you up to date on that. Under new business, just want to give you an update on our cruiser replacement. We had ordered the 2 cars in the early part of 2022. The second car that we ordered is being built this month. So hope to take the delivery sometime later this month or in November for that. So the logistical piece on the cars is an issue, but we do have a build date and it's being built this month. Also, want to let the board know we've got a couple of dates established for some holiday events. Our Thanksgiving Cruiser is going to be on Saturday, November 12th. Breakfast with Santa is going to be on Saturday, December 13th at Applebee's. And Shop with the Cop is on Saturday, December 17th at Applebee's and Walmart. So those dates have been established. And that's what I have for you this morning.
Thanks, Roy.
Thanks.
Okay, fire department?
You'll see my calls for service there. Over the past 2 weeks, we just did clean up from Brimfest and station build stuff. The update, excuse me, on the station build is the new bay drains were installed. The concrete on the new bay side was poured, and the parking lot in the back, the asphalt is being removed in preparation for new asphalt. Interior drywall, walls, and sprinkler system is being worked on currently. There's a lot more going on, but those are the big things at the station, and that is all we've been doing.
And you're still waiting on the insulation.
Installation got delayed another month.
Yeah, so so with the drywall, are they just gonna try to close everything in the
Well,
best they can?
There was an email attached to the USDA email this morning, kind of directing Rycon to figure out how they're going to temporarily enclose it at their cost, not ours. So
Is the drywall up in there now?
they had to put sections of drywall up at certain parts of the ceiling so they could get the sprinklers attached in areas. So
So worth
a
coming
little
over,
bit.
worth coming over looking at it now, or is there a lot?
You're almost there. The stairs aren't poured yet, so it's hard to get up the stairs, but you can.
I wanna see that bay picture, it sounds like it's great.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bay.
It's a lot of concrete being poured in there. So.
Well, and I know that the completion of the fire department's a certain date, but when are you guys moving from that side to the other side so they can start working on the other side?
When that completion date hits, which
Oh.
is, I'm calling it February-ish, March.
Well, but then they're not even done, because then they have to start on the other bay, right? And everything else?
Right. Yeah, we move everything over, and then everything existing right now gets renovated.
Okay.
So,
What are
yeah,
you gonna do with all those bays?
well,
They're gonna play
I
hockey.
can fill 'em up.
Fine, and
a good example, our fan sits over at the cemetery. We needed it for a fire, and it was dead. So I mean, it's just stuff's got to get back inside. So
Wow, that's great.
all the pickups that sit outside, they just rot away. You know, so we'll fill them up.
so just so I understand, I don't mean to jump over, but with the old bay, they're stripping everything out except for the metal, the beams, and then building around it again?
The block and the metal.
Are
Yes.
they gonna keep the existing floor or do a new floor?
It's going to be existing floor, and they have to grind it off, smooth it again, and maybe resurface. I don't know yet.
That's gonna be nice.
You
Yeah.
know, I attend those Rycon meetings on Thursdays, and I want to let the board know that the conversation that goes on from Craig to those Rycon people, he's up to date on things. He asks very good questions, and I'm just glad that he's there to do that for us.
Well, that's why we put him in charge. We
Thank
knew
you.
he would handle
Well,
And he does really.
I'm out there every day acting dumb. So
it. It's the way to get it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Thanks for all your work, Craig.
yep, and then we just have to have the exec session to discuss kind of some other things that popped up.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Administration. No, you don't have anything other than.
No, but everything's under the fiscal office, actually. So-
Okay, well, the electric pavilion,
Oh, no, sorry, we just put that on. You're right. Go ahead, Cassie.
Sure. So, I got 3 quotes on, getting electric service put in at both the Lion Shelter and the Carter Shelter at Lions Park. Honeychuck and Carter Shelter. I had originally budgeted for just the Honeychuck Pavilion, because that's where we've been having our concerts, and we needed, electric there, because we've been running the electric from the Lion Shelter. However, Dave and I were talking about it, and we kind of think it made more sense to just do both pavilions at the same time, if they're gonna be digging everything up already, and it'd be much more costly to go back and do the Carter later. And these quotes also included moving the service from the Lion Shelter to the pole up by Dave's shop, because that Lion Shelter is going to come down hopefully in the near future. So we got 3 quotes from Dodado, Ott, and Thompson, and I included a comparison sheet for you on each detail, including the cost, or installing a new service, the receptacles, the lights, all that good stuff, digging, trenching. But all that to say, Dodado and Thompson came back at around the same price. Thompson came back at $17,000. Dodado was $17,870. But the way that Dada was going to do the digging. They were gonna do directional drilling, which, Dave said would be more beneficial to him and be less labor for his guys, and it would be easier to fill back in. So we think that the extra $870 would justify, the cost of labor and the disruption of the park. So I think we both agree that Dada gave us the best quote.
You talked to John?
Yeah, it causes lots of liability issues for us as well when you guys are playing over in the bands are playing, we got extension cords going all over the place right through the middle of the crowds. And I don't even want to get in the middle of that, but it's just an update of our park to make it work where we want it to be.
Right.
Again, that's another.
And it's an issue for Dave also, because I mean, they have to go back and pull the thing, put it away. It's just,
Well, and we gotta do something with that other building over there too before it falls down. I mean,
well,
how
if
bad
it
is
falls
that?
down, it's under insurance, right?
Yeah, for $50 replacement cost. What is, I mean, is it?
It's getting worse.
Yeah. So we have to do something with that building anyway. So I don't know if we build a storage shed on top of that or
So I was
something.
gonna talk about that in Willis.
Oh, okay.
It was like that little child who never get him anything. No, I know. Well, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the cost from using not electric for the.
Oh, we were gonna go to Dada.
Or to Dada.
Yes, yeah, JWD.
Okay. The dollar for a cost not to exceed 18,000.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Any idea on when they would start?
I think they said as soon as it's approved, they're gonna start purchasing the materials, and then of course it's gonna be dependent on weather. So then they said, they'd like to start purchasing the materials as soon as possible, because of course with everything, the price is probably gonna go up. So they said they can shelve those things until they're ready to start on the project.
But there's a good chance it'll be done relatively soon.
That I don't know. As long as, well, I'll get back to them as soon as possible and get you a estimate on when that can be done. Another thing I just wanted to point out about that is, it'll be really beneficial to our programs as well, especially when we're doing like evening programs, like our fall festival coming up. And, not only will we have electric hookup for coffee pots and projectors and whatever we need, we'll have additional lighting for safety. And we're also putting, floodlights on the front of the buildings as well, which will, for the honey check will shine into the parking lot. And just,
That's good.
there's a lot of additional benefits.
Well, it'll also allow us to use those pavilions a little bit more with the public during it, now that we have electricity out there. and all that,
Yes,
so that'll-
yeah, I think they'll be more
that
attractive
was
to the
a-
public, so.
Complaint you heard on some of the shelters, wasn't it, not having
Yes,
electric, so.
yeah, I get lots of complaints about not having places for crock pots and things like that, so I think it'll be a welcome addition. And I did budget $12,000 for this project. But,
But I wanna take it out of the jet.
Okay.
Again, it's a maintenance and improvement of our parks.
You know, I'd really like to see those graduation parties there
Yes.
next year. You know, it's just such a great asset the township has.
yes.
I mean, with all the shelters, but.
And now we do have the electric at Cranberry Creek finally as well, so all three of our pavilions will have electric, which would be very nice.
I just see the crowds that go down to Wingfoot. I mean, I know they got a big lake, but we got this building, we just got a lot.
Yeah.
You just gotta advertise it. I'm sure you do, so.
Well, we're getting more activity down there every day.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's good.
Okay,
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, Mike, zoning.
Thank you. Thanks for the approval. First item was, Todd Dietz, and I thank you for the historic district along with updating the comprehensive land use plan. I think that's going to be an asset to the community. Chad Murdoch is working on with zoning and parks for this acceptance of 40.4 acres of parkland from this residence. The conditional acceptance agreement is here for trustee consideration. There's going to be a couple other things once you sign this. That goes to, we still have to do title search, and it still has to go to Portage County Common Pleas Court for acceptance, but this would be a conditional acceptance as of now to lock it in.
You just need us to sign it.
I need a motion to approve and then sign it
I'd like to make that motion.
to accept the 40.4 acres.
I move to accept the 40.4 acres parkland from the resident as a conditional acceptance.
I will gladly second the motion.
All right, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed. I think, just from my perspective over here, that is gonna be a huge asset for us down the road in Brimfield Township. I mean, it's a spectacular, there's all kinds of potential over there for us to do lots of nice things for Brimfield Township, so.
Yeah.
A fishing lake?
Okay.
Yeah, see, I want to put in the first bid for what I would like to see happen.
Sure.
I would like a section for monarch butterflies.
I think we can.
That would make a wonderful Boy Scout project.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a fishing dock for you.
And I need a fishing dock for me, but I don't like to catch catfish. I don't like to take them off the hook.
Do we need
I mean,
to
there's
put,
other fishing, right? It's just,
I know it's been stocked with catfish. That was the most recent thing that was stocked in there, but I'm sure there's other fish.
we're gonna have to send Mike out in his fishing
Bluegills,
boat.
bluegills are
We're gonna
fun.
have to do a little investigation.
Research. If you love a township fishing day for research.
Is there a boat ramp?
No.
I can bring my jet boat over.
Mike, what was his name again?
Tim McGuire.
Yeah, Tim McGuire and also Mildred McGuire.
Yeah, that's,
Not that this is that point, but I think when we start naming those, then it needs to be
yeah,
McGuire.
Yeah, I think so.
that's a great idea.
It's an incredibly generous donation.
So I know I asked you this before, you said we're at about 150 acres of parkland now?
Yes, this will bring
At
us
least,
to about
yeah.
150, yeah.
That's crazy, Sue.
This one that does have ATV trails, and then there is a stone house there.
Yes.
So,
And I know Mr. McGuire's request was that this property stays a park, does not become developed in anything else other than a park, and that we keep the stone house. That's why it's two requests, so.
You got a picture of the stone house, right?
I believe it.
We do.
Yeah, we haven't been inside it yet.
Would one of you send me one?
Yeah, we'll send
The
it.
Sue one, or,
Sure.
that'd be great.
Mhm.
That's great, great. Thanks, Mike.
Yep, and then Hamrick Manufacturing was granted temporary occupancy on September 19th. And then we have, this isn't on the list, but we have 32 new homes this year so far. Hickory Creek continues to sell. This is gonna, Hickory Creek is a split between Ryan Homes and custom built homes, but one of the Ryan homes, I believe it's sublot 4, just went under contract for over 500,000 as a Ryan. So the custom built are gonna be probably 100,000 plus more than that. And
Wow. That's great.
that concludes my report.
Is there something we have to sign on that?
Yes.
The Aldi's, any guess when they're gonna open up?
They were hoping for the holidays, so, and it's going pretty quick.
Have you been in it, or?
Yeah, I've been out there with D-Hawk several times.
That's good. What about that Dickie's Barbecue? When are they gonna open? Are they gonna?
So they have permits and they started construction. I have no idea when they're opening them. And that's at
That's some
unit 22 there.
exciting dinner options.
Yeah, there's quite a bit going on. Walmart's doing their expansion. Chase Bank, we're working with Bowler Engineering on the project, which is next to Meyer Gas Station. That's coming in as well, so. And then we're still working on Jiffy Lube's ribbon cutting. And then I also sent, I think Lauren sent out some ribbon cutting dates for the nursing home as well, so.
That's great.
Mike, when you get the final signatures on that from the wires, can we get that back over to my office?
Yeah, no, we still have to go through the court system
Back down.
and all that, yeah.
Thanks.
So, yeah, and then just the grand opening ribbon cutting for Tamarack Ridge is November the 3rd at noon. So everybody's aware, all department heads, everybody can
And
attend.
what did you say?
This is the ribbon cutting for Tamarack Ridge is scheduled for November 3rd at noon. And then they'll have an open house on the 17th as well.
Tamarack Ridge.
Yes.
You'll let us know.
Yep.
Remind us.
It's November 3rd though, at what time?
Noon.
I like the name of that Tamarack Ridge because those tamarack trees, the only other place they have them are up in Canada. A lot of people don't know that. Something about the glaciers coming down and all that in this area. So I think that's really a very historical
It is.
name that we don't want to lose in the area.
Yep, looks good too.
Speaking of names, I just want to mention it real quick. I was talking to Cassie. I mean, all the parks we got and stuff is crazy, but we really need to promote the bog, even though it's called the Kent Bog.
Mm-hmm.
It's all Brimfield.
Really?
I think we
Okay.
changed the name here in Brimfield. It's the Brimfield Kent Bog.
We should
The
just put a new
Brimfield
sign
Camp.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should just go put it
It's our
on
property.
sign.
We can put our own sign up. How the heck?
Take the other one down.
I mean, I love Kent, but dang, this is Brimfield. What the hell? So, okay, just my 2 minutes. Thank you. Okay. Y'all done, Mike?
Yep, I'll finish.
Yeah, you guys are really cooking over there. Road department. Okay,
All righty.
let me start this off with Dave needs a new building. Okay. Just want to get that out there too.
Well, we were talking about it. Where the old pavilion was. Put his new building there.
Let's see. I guess I'll start out with the big bangers at first. I need to get the board's approval for JD Striping and Service Inc. to paint the road stripes on our roadways for $45,000. The price of paint went sky high, plus I added about 8 miles of road this year.
And we need to get this done before the winter, so I'm gonna make that motion. And we approve a quote of $45,000 from JD Striping to paint road stripes.
Second.
And we, just so you know, that was in Dave's budget for the year. It just is a little bit higher, but we had a couple projects that came in a little bit lower, so it all fits into the budget. But we did have this all part of the original, I think it was 25,000 or something. that
Well, we had 30 set back. And plus I want the 45 just in case I missed a couple stop blocks and stuff. That way we're covered, so.
Are they ready to start?
As soon as I can let him know, he'll get us into the schedule.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, and also I need I think it's a board approval or a resolution to appoint Mike Kostensky as the CEO for the OPWC Round 37 Klein Road Culvert Project. That's the project we're doing next year. We have big culvert replacement on Klein Road.
Well, Mike is the liaison to the road department. So I would like to make that motion to appoint him the CEO for the OPWC round for the 37 Klein Road Culvert Project.
Okay, I'll second that too.
Hey, all those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Just a few little things. We've been working on some asphalt patching. We actually just got done with over there at the library. I had the guys dig out, put in extra stone and stuff to beef up the thing for the parking lot for the garbage container, or whatever you want to call it. Butternut Ridge paving project has started. They were starting doing a lot of the curb gutter and the sidewalks. Sidewalks, I mean wheelchair ramps. We're not doing sidewalks specifically, just wheelchair ramps, get them up to code. Cascades paving project is getting ready to fire up in the next few days. They're going to start with their concrete work first there too. The Howe Road Culvert project, last year's OPWC project, is finally coming to completion. They just got a few punch list things to do and we should have that thing completed. We should be finishing up crack sealing soon. The weather hasn't been our friend lately, so we've been having trouble. Have to wait until the roads are dried up. And also to let everybody know, starting October 17th, we will be back on 8-hour days. So we'll be here 5 days a week again. And that concludes my report.
Thanks, Dave. We can just whip through this and then go. We have an executive session with Greg, so.
Mine is two of the items on my.
Oh, we don't want to forget Cassie.
Right. The I only have one item, so why don't we just do, Greg, are you good with time? Okay. Why don't we just do Cassie's and then the SUMA renewal, and then we can take care of those last three things in executive session.
Okay, sounds good. Talk fast.
Sure. The first thing I had was, this piece of art was brought to us by, resident Dave Krantz. He made this with oil pastels, and he would like to have it temporarily hung here at the community center,
That's
for
great.
everyone to enjoy. This is a steer from Hillbrunner Farm on Edson Road, so.
I
he's
thought
resident.
that was a picture, but that's actually painted.
It's
What's
a
that
oil
little
pastel.
animal up at the top? You got the big cow here, but what's that little
Looks like a
animal?
pig.
That's a bird.
Oh, I didn't even see that in the back.
I know, I just,
There's the.
that is very, very nice.
It's a Texas Longhorn.
Oh, sorry, I'm reflecting this right on your face.
That's okay.
Both Dave and the steer are residents of Brimfield, so it's nice to have this hanging here, so. And he would like to
Why don't
provide.
you take a
some
picture
other-
and put it on the township?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he'd
You're gonna
like to
hang it up
bring-
there?
Yep. I'm gonna put a little plaque underneath it that says like on display, because I know he wants to take it back and bring other pieces into display, so,
Why don't you encourage other artists to do that?
yeah, absolutely.
Well, because this was supposed to be the art community
Yes.
too, so
we don't
maybe
have
we
that.
have a wall of art.
So
Would
calling
look nice right
calling
there.
all artists.
Yeah, I can get in touch with Dave and see if he knows any other artists in the community, so,
You mentioned we have that area outside for painting.
yeah, I should. I'll have it.
You know, I met Dave here about 4 or 5 years ago. He'd volunteered at the food cupboard. And he just retired, and he said he was getting into doing his painting again. And I suggested when we get this all done, that in this garage, we have like an art gallery. And then our local artists could come into the garage area and display all their works and have a show.
In turn, I thought.
So I am so pleased to see his name on
I
our,
remember back in the day, we talked about using that for art,
yeah,
where they could go out there and paint and stuff like that.
yeah, that's good. That's very encouraging. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate
Do you
that.
mind if I call
Absolutely, go ahead.
them? Yeah, I don't want to step over you.
No, that's fine.
Or you can handle it. I think it's great that we're encouraging that. Like I told you in Jupiter, it's all over the way they do it down there.
Yep.
Such a vibrant little art community, especially when you see all the old men and women sitting out there drinking coffee. I
Yeah.
never see them painting. I always see them drinking coffee.
I can also task this to our resident artist, Erin, so if you don't know, she's a very talented
Wow,
artist.
that's
so,
great.
yeah.
That sounds like a good project for her.
So I wanted to just thank Dave for thinking of us, that was very kind of him, so. We already covered the pavilion, electric, so thank you for that. The next item was we had a Brimfest wrap-up meeting on September 28th. Thank you for everyone for attending. I think that was very beneficial to just go over the pros and cons of Brimfest. I think we made a pretty good list, and we're gonna move forward. I think the next item is to decide the date of Brimfest. That was one of the biggest items that we got feedback on, was that the date conflicted with Balloon Affair. We put a survey out to the public and the employees and the vendors, and most people said the date was a conflict for them. So we're gonna do a survey of the community and see what events take place at that time, and then I think for the next meeting, we'll vote on, or I will ask you to vote on when the date should be.
That's great.
Dog park update, the dog park.
Real
oh, sorry.
quick, how did the Kelso house do?
All things total, beer garden, raffle and everything, almost 3,000.
That's good. Good. Yeah, thank you for letting us take over your property.
Hopefully it'll grow next year.
In conjunction with you guys.
That's right, collaboration.
Well, between all you guys, Dave, Cassie, and Kelso House, you guys did a great job.
We work well together.
Yes, thank you.
Since we're talking to Chrissy, the top piece was here earlier.
So, I was gonna drop that on her later.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
He might be in touch with you for background stuff on the historical houses in Brimfield and anything that you figured out in the last year or two while you've been doing it.
Okay,
And I know you've been all over that stuff, so
We're creating a historical website and map and all that.
okay.
so we'll be coming to you for.
Very interesting, very exciting.
Well, again, we'll work together and see what we can nail down.
Next item is the dog park fencing update. The dog park fence is complete.
Looks good.
I was there yesterday. It was fantastic. I talked to a resident who said she was very happy. She had her little dog out there, and she said it's very great, been well taken care of since the fence has been put in. It seems like people really appreciate the new fencing and
In the new space.
the new space. Yes, it's very, very big. If you haven't seen it, I encourage everyone to go drive down Lynn Road and take a look at it. So that's a great addition. That's been a project that's been on my list since I started here. So good to see that happen. My next item is advertising signs at the soccer field. I was at the soccer field earlier this week, and I noticed that there's a advertising sponsorship sign hanging on the fence. I know that we had discussed this. I looked it up. There was a motion passed in May of 2021 saying that we were going to allow field youth soccer to hang sponsorship signs on the fences. I just had a little bit of a concern because the sign that's up there now is for Akron Children's Hospital, and it's just basically a banner that says Akron Children's Hospital. There's no real indication that it is for field youth soccer and it's for like a sponsorship. So from an outsider perspective, I think it kind of reads that the township is just advertising for Akron Children's Hospital. So I would like to, and I wouldn't want the township or the residents to think that we're just hanging up advertising. Because we are not doing that. So I'd like to get some clarification, I guess, on that motion. The motion verbiage just said that we approved the field youth soccer program to put together a sponsorship sign program signed to be used at the town center field. So I don't know how we wanted to.
Let me jump in a little bit on that. If it said field youth soccer sponsored Cleveland Clinic, and it stayed up there all the time, I don't think that would be an issue, but if it just says Cleveland Clinic, I think they should put them up and take them down when they're, you should.
You know, when we originally put that out, there was also discussion of it would be a specific size made by a specific, and it would only be hung up for the season. It's not to be hung for the next 6 years.
Yeah.
So it would be seasonal only sponsorship and take it down. That's how we originally talked.
Well, I even think if it doesn't say field youth soccer on it, they put it up during the games and they take it down. I don't think that's an issue, but leaving it up all the time, especially since the Cleveland Clinic building right next door to it, it looks like we're.
Again, I think it should be seasonal if they sponsored it, if we allowed that, but
And I like the
Take it
idea, I like his idea of the same size.
Oh, yeah,
so we never got to the point of guiding them, but it would be guided toward, whatever we choose, and you go get it made, and it's a 2x2 sign made, and you can hang it up for one season. That's what was discussed.
So right now, I mean, if they've already started selling advertisements,
there's only one sign.
Yeah.
right, so do we, have you put together something that we can,
Yeah.
for the next meeting, that we can,
Yeah.
Yeah, we can, I mean, you can just put the policy together, what the requirements are, and that can apply for any of our programs down here. So if they were down at the baseball fields down here, if they wanted to do that, it's the same process. If they want to put it along the fence for sponsoring a baseball team or whatever, just you put together what the guidelines are.
We're gonna need a variance to, or a trustee motion to waive permit fees. For
Yes.
all those signs as
Yeah,
well.
that was also another concern.
so should we take,
Just have her put it together.
should we take that sign down, or
Well, the season ends on the 15th.
so is
Let
that
it stay
nowhere?
until the 15th and then just take it down.
Yeah, that makes sense, so let's just, if it's
At least I think.
just let it go till the end of the season, and then we'll, because I mean, that's an oversight, nobody's fault, we just never thought about it, so if you could, I mean, you don't have to have done it 2 weeks, so we'll vote, but
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
that's just good, I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, as I was driving by it, I was just thinking to myself, other businesses and organizations might see that and, wonder how they can get their signs up there, and, the township doesn't really have any control over that, so
But
we can
having
get some sort of policy.
One
there.
standard size
Do you
is
need a
great.
motion for waiving the permit fees
I
now?
think
or do
she
you
just
want to
puts
wait
that
another?
all,
Put that all together in your report for the next meeting.
Hey, did you have did Did you have a write-up of how that was all done at one time?
No, it was all discussion, and I remember we never voted on what it was because we didn't have a fence. So now that we have a fence, yeah, I guess make something up.
Okay, all right, thanks.
All right, thank you. Next item, just an informational piece. The Boy Scouts have requested to do overnight camping at Lions Park on Friday, November 4th and Saturday, November 5th. They've done this every year. I just wanted to bring it to the board's attention and the police department's attention as well, that they will be over
Why
there.
don't they want to go down to Cranberry Creek?
I
It's such a
suggested
nice-
Cranberry
Nice
Creek.
park.
I think they're more comfortable at Lions Park. I don't,
Where are they gonna camp?
they usually camp just, I think.
It's right back there in
here.
that
Yeah.
field, where the old baseball field was.
Yeah,
They're worried about porta potties.
probably.
They're Boy Scouts, they can figure it out.
And then just an update on upcoming programs. On the 13th next week, we have our annual Owl Night Hike, which is always well attended. That's going to be at 6:30 p.m. This year it'll be at Cranberry Creek Park. We're still trying to move more programs over to there because it's a great park. So hopefully we get good attendance there. On October 22nd, we have our trunk or treats, our fall events from 4 to 9:30 p.m. at Lions Park. The trunk or treat portion will be from 4 to 6. The contest and costume parade will be from 6 to 7. And we'll be showing the movie in the park from 7 to approximately 9 o'clock. This year's movie will be Coco, the Pixar movie Coco. On November 6th, Sunday, November 6th, we will be having our first pumpkin roll event. We'll be inviting residents to come roll pumpkins on our sledding hill. That will be from 1 to 3 p.m. at Cranberry Creek Park. And then on November 27th, we'll be having our hometown Christmas events from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Kelso House. And I know they've already started putting up the lights and stuff.
And what time is that on the 27th?
5 to 7.
I mentioned something to Darlene yesterday, but the lighting company did call. They're not sure about the lights on the arch in the shrubs. They're not sure if they look good or not, and they wanted us to look at them. I was hoping you guys could look just to see. He said he'd come back and figure them out. However, he said when he put them on the shrubs, he wasn't sure it looked great, so he wanted to.
Okay,
So if you can check those out, there's a switch right by it. You can turn them on and you can see.
okay. All right, yeah, I do go, I have to go by and I let him in so he can plug into the garage.
Okay.
And then I went back to lock up and I looked, but I couldn't go look at the area.
Yeah, he was just concerned with the shrubs not working the way that he thought they were gonna, so he wanted your opinion.
All right,
Yeah, just one other upcoming event we can mention is Kelso House will be having the election day dinner
What's the date for that?
again. Election day.
the 8th, I think,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't know that we've set a time,
Won't be the,
usually 4 to,
it's the first Tuesday in November.
yeah,
so-
but I don't know what time. I think we usually do it.
And then you guys, Cassie, you guys will help advertise and
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we'll be getting that out there.
Is election day the 8th, not the 1st?
I'd have to look, I got all this stuff.
Oh, it is the 8th. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
It's the second Tuesday.
It's the 8th.
Yeah, that's great.
I have one thing with the trunk or treat. Craig, last year, we had the bonfire all set up. They lit it, and then about an hour later, they had to put it out. What is the process with all that? How can we keep it going longer than just the hour?
Wind was the concern.
Yeah, last year was when.
Yeah.
It was blowing embers toward everybody.
I just
So-
didn't know what the reason was. If there wasn't any wind issues, they could just leave it burn.
Well, and then we'll put it out at the end.
Well, but it would have been nice to have it while the fire or the movie was going and all that, because it just was starting to get dark and then they put the fire out.
It got a little rainy too, I remember during the movie, so.
I just wanted to make sure that wasn't an issue on the fire department side of why we had
Are you gonna put the
Weather.
movie close to a shelter so they can sit in the shelter?
Yeah, we had it, kind of, people were sitting on the asphalt pad at the Honey Tech Pavilion, and we had it kind of set back, sort of like catty corner to the lion shelter, because that's where they were drawing the power from. So I think we'll probably do that area again.
Okay.
And everybody's invited to come and trick or treat as well. I sent out an email, but,
Make sure you bring a lot of candy.
yes.
Goes like crazy there.
Are you setting up that?
Yeah, there were way more people than we thought were gonna be there last year. I mean, it was, they were parking on Edson Road, there was packed over there, so. Anyway, okay.
All right, thank you. Oh, and thank you for the park. Appreciate it.
40 acres there.
Okay, well, you said there's nothing for fiscal office?
No, there
Oh, the
is.
similar review, okay.
All right, we got the Sumacare health renewal for 1/1 effective date. Last year, we got a 0% increase, and if you don't know, our benefits are probably the best benefits of anybody's around town. We got a 0.3% increase this year, so 0.3% we got to continue with that for the exact same benefit plan design. So for 2 years of the quality benefits that we have, we got a 0.3% increase. So I just need a motion to approve and proceed on that. We met with Huntington the other day, who does our insurance, and we're gonna put all that stuff together. I don't even think we're gonna have employee meetings. We counted down everybody. There isn't anybody that really isn't on a plan or on a stipend, so we're gonna send out the sheet to everybody so they can pick and choose. And there's gonna be a box to check if I wanna keep the same benefits. We figured that was easier than trying to pull all the shifts together at certain times and doing all that. But if there is anybody, just for department heads, if there's anybody that has an employee that needs to make changes, we'd rather have them just come to the fiscal office and we can handle it individually as they come. But I don't think there's gonna be anybody, but, so we
Okay,
just.
well, I'll make a motion that we accept the renewal for SUMA.
Second,
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Motion passed, thank you. That's all I need for that.
Okay, thanks, John. Hey,
I wanted to just make a comment. This is an FYI for the cemetery. Dave and I have been talking, and I've been very aware of his schedule and his work crews and what they're doing. And what I would like to do, and I propose that for the Pioneer Cemetery, that we put it on hold till spring. And then that way, when he'll let me know when the weather gets good enough, and we'll take care of it then.
That work for you?
sounds like a good idea.
You're still running all that over there, right?
Okay, well, then I guess I'll make a motion to go to executive session.
All right, well, we have three. If you don't mind, Mike, I'll read this
Okay,
into
sounds
these. So there's gonna be three. The first one is for to consider confidential information related to marketing plans, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements. Applicable for economic development assistance or negotiation with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance, provided that both of the following conditions apply. The information is directly related to the request for economic development assistance is to be provided and administered under one of the provisions of chapter 715, 25, 17, 24, 1728. It involves public infrastructure improvements or the extension of utilities that are directly related to an economic development project. So that is motion one, or executive session one. So I need a,
I will make a motion.
Second,
okay, all those in favor, Mike? Yes. Sue?
yes.
All right. Second one is conference with an attorney for public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or in imminent court action. So we're gonna need one for that.
Okay, I will make a motion for D.
Second,
Okay, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Okay, and the third one is for the compensation of a public employee or official. And then that is number 17 is what it is, so I need a motion for that as well.
I will make that
You
motion.
still want one? Okay. Are we gonna have a,
So I think that was one, the first one.
oh, that was the first one?
Craig's is
Okay,
one, yeah.
all right.
So do you want to second this third one?
Yeah, what is the third one now?
This is for compensation of a public employee or official.
Okay,
All right, then,
Do you have roll call?
all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes,
motion passed. I don't know which order we want to go. The first
One
one,
with Greg, maybe?
I think Greg needs to be in all of them,
Okay.
actually.
Okay, that's good.
First one needs to be, Craig needs to be in the first one. And then I need, Ro, you didn't know this, but I need you in the second one. And then the third one's just us. Okay?
Okay.
That work? All right?
Okay. So we make a motion?
Yes, we do, actually. Sorry. Good call, Craig. We need to amend the agenda.
Okay.
We're gonna need to amend the agenda under admin, actually, it'll be 2B, employee resignation.
Yeah, we'll make that motion that we amend the agenda.
second,
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
yes.
motion passed. You want me to do it?
Huh?
You want me to?
You want to just do it now?
Yeah, let's just,
Okay.
well, as of Friday, Brian, our IT associate, has chosen a new job that is at Kent State University. It's a great improvement for Brian in regards to what he's looking for. He's also got 2 young kids that are coming up on college ages, and Kent State's program and paying for all that. So it's Brian gave his resignation on, well, the 23rd of September. So he gave us 2 weeks. His last day is this Friday. We are in the process of hiring a new IT person. We put everything out on Indeed, and we've got bombarded with applications. Brian actually has been very helpful in this. He's been helping through the search to make sure that we find people, and he thinks we have a bunch of quality, capable people that are applying. We do have a board that's going to do the interview process. It's going to be Chris, Nick, and Holly, our HR consultant. Those 3 are going to be the ones that do the initial interviewing process, and then they're going to narrow them down, and then the board's going to have the last 3 to interview. So we'll go from that process. But we wanted to make sure, I was kind of pulling the people together that had a lot of IT experience to kind of be in on those questions. But Brian's already pre-screening them all before they go through and helping us pick somebody out. But I just wanted to thank Brian for his multiple years of service at Brimfield Township. He still will be available to us on a consulting basis, and we agreed on doing that if we need Brian's help after he leaves, so he can help the new IT person. So we don't get in a spot. We may be just in the next couple of weeks, though, while we're trying to hire somebody, we may be without. So Brian's going to be on call for us if we need that. But a lot of those calls are going to have to be after 4 o'clock. So just want to thank Brian. So we just need to approve his resignation,
Okay.
accept his resignation.
Yeah, only on the IT board.
Yeah, Dave, we're going to put him on there. So I need a motion to accept Brian's.
I will make a motion.
Second,
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
yes.
motion passed. Thank you, Craig.
No, we accepted Brian's resignation, and I just have a question. You know, when we have our meetings here, and we're on YouTube or whatever, Brian is down in the basement making all that happen.
Right.
So I was thinking that until we get an IT person that can come to the evening meetings and come to all those, I would just think that we should not have the YouTube and not have this available because we don't have anybody to do that.
Well, we do. No, we have the backup. Rochelle is the backup, and she's been training with Brian. So she is capable of running the meetings. So
Okay.
the only thing we'll run into, and it's not going to be an issue, because if she has to do a night meeting, she can either get overtime or comp to come in and do the meetings at night. But she'll be here on Wednesdays to run the
Okay,
meetings.
because I was
And
just
she's
concerned about,
100%
yeah,
capable.
especially her evenings.
Yeah, Brian trained her, and she's all ready to go.
Okay,
So
that's good.
She
to know.
actually did the last 2 meetings for us, so, but no, Rochelle is is a spectacular utility player. She knows all kinds of different things in Brimfield Township. She's a big asset to us.
Okay.
She'll handle well.
I'm comfortable with that.
Well, a big thank you to Brian. Good luck with the new job. So, okay, well, I think I'm gonna make a motion that we go to executive session.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes?
Sue.
Yes.
Okay, we are going to executive session at 9:20.
Okay.
way.
Okay, thanks. All right, we got out of executive session at 9:15. I believe we do have one board action for KWGD, their bill for $12,878. I couldn't approve it because it's over my 5,000, so I just need a board to make a motion to approve this bill, and then we'll move it on our way.
I'll make that motion.
I will second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
The motion passed, and that is all we needed.
I will make a motion to end this meeting.
Second.
All right, we are adjourned. Now, all those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
We are adjourned at 9:59.